It didn't work.
Didn't go live, or we are live?
We're not live. It says scheduled.
Okay,
Wait a moment, then try again. We have a problem here, guys.
we're live.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got an error on our end, guys. If you hear us, sweet. That's awesome. We'll try again. Now we're live, everybody. How you doing tonight? Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a snafu with the system, but we are on. I hope you can hear us. No fun intro music, as you see. We're just doing this thing. We're making it happen. Night before, yet again, last second, middle of the night, doing our bit. Of course, we've got Bam. You've got me. Tony's down there, tired from a very, very busy week of supporting, but we're here. We're here for you guys. We're making it happen. All right. So, what happened? What did we miss? Not a whole lot. A draw, right? Against Austin, a team we expected to get a win off of, but at least we didn't lose. I'll put it right there. Beyond that, of course, good news for LAFC too, and another away day to talk about. So, yes, we've got some stuff to cover and a couple of personnel things that we can discuss as well. Of course, Bam, I know it's nice to have you in studio again instead of running away in the driving while listening and talking. Yes, back home doing your thing. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing quite well. Just planning more of our trip that's coming over in 183 days. I'll be over there, so countdown's fully on. Planning all that kind of stuff. Looks like I'll be spending a couple of nights at Disneyland Hotel, so I'm looking forward to that. We've decided to stretch our budget a little bit and stay there rather than staying off site like we normally do. So looking forward to that, and just looking forward to getting back and seeing everyone. Just the anticipation's right there. So let's get this season going. Let's get this win. Let's try and win as many trophies as we can. And when I'm back over next year, we'll keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, we have a great chance of making history, right? In a couple days. So maybe you're coming over at a time where we've got some CCL fun. Guess Champions Cup these days. What else? Other things, right? We'll be busy. That's for sure. And Bam in the stadium, it's a long time coming. The photo op will be proper, that's for sure. And it's a fine celebration. He's coming home, guys. He's coming home. Of course, there's Tony, like I said, the busiest man in the BA, one of the busiest in the 3252, holding it down on Wednesday night. How are you, sir?
Mad. Like, it's points, but spoiler alert, we tied. Here's some more spoiler alert. So 1 point, cool. So if we do what we do, if we actually do the job and show how much pressure we do, we're tied for first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that. So
I mean,
mad.
everything. I know why you're mad, because everything that happened around the league outside of our match fell into our laps. All we had to do was be efficient, do our jobs. Do your job, right? Because everyone else slipped. It was a good chance for us to do something. Yes, the ones right behind us didn't quite slip, but it was as expected, right? You didn't have to worry about them if you do your job. That's the story. And so, yeah, a little bit rough. Now, you were thinking, well, I know there had to be some shift of lineup, right? Busy schedule, not going to be the easiest thing in the world. It wasn't. And of course, we did have a modified lineup. In this case, of course, Lloris was in goal. We had Long and Chanot holding things down in the back. We expected that, right? Plenty and Hollingshead played as outside back, so back to the 4-3-3 again. This was the fun part. Atuesta Segura Dueñas was our midfield. Yeah, a shift, that's for sure. Giroud was up top with Bogus and Bawanga, as we all kind of predicted, right? Begrudgingly. That's what we ended up with up top. Now, the Segura conversation, where he actually fit in during this game, was a little bit interesting. That's for sure. I'm going to go to you, Bam. Your thoughts on this lineup?
I was surprised that Drew got the start, seeing that, Dollar came out and said he's not match fit to go the full 90, so why start him? Segura in the midfield, that was interesting as well. But, it worked for the first 44 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. No, everything went according to the plan except for putting the ball behind the, over the line. The only issue is, like you said, one moment in the first half that made things go a bit chaos. Of course, the other side, I'll just say this before we can get into it, they went out with a 4-4-2. They went super traditional, basically a high pressure defense right on everybody, every bit of it. They did a great job of it. I'll say that right now. They needed to seize possession, and they did that. Of course, who they have? They had Stuver. We all know him. Cascante and Svalek were their center backs. Dessler, Guillermo Bureau was their left back. Pereira and Ring were holding it down. You know how Ring is. Bucati and Gallagher on the outsides. And, of course, up top, O'Brien and Rubio. Yeah, I mean, not a bad lineup for their side under the circumstances, knowing they had so many injuries going into this thing. The pressure they put into this game, the way they were willing to cede possession to maintain control and shut down some passing lanes, I think their game plan went rather well. That's for sure. And of course, they did get one shot in the half. Tony, what happened on that one shot in the half?
It was a dismal display of defense. Let's be honest. That's what happened. They let one guy they let Bukiri spin move, have him get down the line, and then you have O'Brien O'Brien is his name. Just sat there. Like all he had to do was just literally tap it in. It was like no one was following the match. They were following the ball. They weren't following the chain, and they just let him in. And it's unacceptable. It really is. Like
It's chaos. Honestly, just disorganized in the moment. Off on the play, did not recover. Dig it out of the back of your net. And 45 plus 2, right? I mean, we should have been just going out of this thing and getting ready to regroup for the second half and being done with it. Of course, second half kicks off, and I mean, we could just throw this out. First half, a lot of great plays from a lot of good players, a lot of good touches. I know others weren't so happy with Duenas. I actually thought he was one of the few guys that was actually putting in work. Moving off the ball, making himself available while others were dodging it. I got to be honest. Getting hacked left and right. I mean, I don't know what else he can do under the circumstances. Yes, there were some passes behind guys, but close quarter passing does that sort of thing. We were banding the outside way too much. Bring it out, bring it in. It would have done pretty well in this situation, but for some reason, as compact as they were in the middle, and as much as they were willing to surrender the outside, we just weren't taking it. We weren't taking it, and we ran into issues. That's for sure. Tony, your thoughts on the first half? What'd you like? What'd you hate?
We'll just start with the hate part. Honestly, they had one shot and they finished it, and we had 3 shots and we couldn't finish it. Now, what I loved was Duenas. Like he did show hustle. He did show passion out of everyone there. Mind you, there's a lot more other people that that should have been stepping up to the moment. And again, it's not showing championship caliber play at the moment. We have what now 6 games left until playoffs, minus 1, technically 7 now, but that's a final, which we'll get to that one when it comes to that one, but that's a whole nother conversation that we're going to get to when we talk about Dallas. And it was just nothing on the play. Like the second half was a better understanding, but still it's the players who are getting paid are not performing.
Yeah, the 6-figure guys were outplaying the 7-figure guys. Really, at the end of it, who's putting in work? We saw who's putting in work. There's no doubt. Bam, did you get a chance to see the first half?
I didn't get a chance to see any of the games, to be honest, but I was listening to it. Thanks to Dave Denholm being able to listen to that over here. Going by, we had some chances. They had some chances. I agree with you guys. Duenas was showing passion, was running, all that kind of stuff. Look, I don't care if we lose 1-0. What I care about is if we lose 1-0 and no one shows passion, no one's chasing the ball, no one's running, all that kind of stuff. At the end of 90 minutes, if we lose 1-0, I want it so you can barely walk off the field. Show that you ran. Show that you've done everything that you could. And we lose 1-0 with like the 47th minute goal, so be it type thing. But when we have these high caliber players that should be doing better than what they are, you sit there and go, "Did we make the right move signing them?"
And don't even present themselves in moments. Like, if you're just waiting for it to come to you, anyone can do that. Like, there's no work rate in it. Really? You expect guys that are getting paid the most to be leaders out there. I would expect them to sacrifice themselves for the rest of the crew, to step up, inspire the rest, not just go through the motions. And it felt like there was some going through the motions situations here. So that's for sure. Now let's go to the second half, because we know what lineup came out. We know they were still dominating the game, but it took a change to finally inspire something, right, Tony?
Yeah, again, we had Ilya finally come in, our true captain. Let's be honest, that is the captain of the team. I don't care if Vela comes back. That is the captain through and through, even when Willa was there. And then at the same time, we had Martinez in for Duenas, which at the time I was like, all right, let's see what he can do, because Duenas was doing really well, but he felt that was the change that he needed to make. And not even 3 minutes later, with an assist from Hollington, but the play starts with a beautiful pass by Giroud that flicks it back to Atuesta, who finds Hollington on the wing. Martinez understands his space and puts the ball in. And we kept going as well. We could have had multiple chances, but just it didn't show that we were here for. And that's why I was just like, everyone talking about like, yeah, Austin we should golazo them. We should do this. We should do that. Everyone's saying this. It's like, at this point, it doesn't fucking matter. So, like, we just need to win. Just win. Let's maybe be my Raiders. Just win, baby. That's all we have to do.
It's simply put, you need 3 points. Like, the magic numbers are coming very soon, everybody. I won't dwell on it because we have bigger issues, right? Bigger fish to fry. But yeah, 3 points are what was needed, and 3 points were not received, and now that leaves us with what, 4 games squandered, basically. So rough in terms of that, because we are now dropping in the standings. I know, unfortunate. It's a tight Western Conference. We knew that already, but if you throw 4 away, yeah, you ain't gonna last. You'll be playing in other people's houses more than you'll be playing in your own. That's how it works. So advantage lost if you keep this up. Things got to change. That's for sure. Bam, your thoughts on the game itself after seeing what played itself out, seeing the highlights. What's your vibe?
Look, I'm grabbing a point. Yes, we've got a point, but we need 3 points, plain and simple. And like when you're going up against a team like Austin, who are where are they? They're on the cusp of making it. You know, if you go by,
yeah, they're chasing.
Yep.
Sure.
Well, no. Let's talk about magic numbers for a minute, and let's put out a elimination guaranteed playoffs scenario today.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, Austin, they can't be eliminated. They can't be guaranteed playoffs.
No,
we can be guaranteed playoffs with a win. We win. We take the whole 3 points. We're guaranteed playoffs. Now again, we win against Dallas. We're guaranteed playoffs. If we draw against Dallas, we've got to hope for another result to go away. Plain and simple. So for me, it's yes, we got a point, but right now, as who said it in the chat? Yeah, Mendo. Got to finish the season strong with the momentum, and losing points at home is unacceptable. 100%. We need all the points we can get at home. If we win every game at home and grab some draws and that 2 or 3 wins away, we're in good position, but we need to win at home. That's the main thing. 100%.
Teams are going to slip. You're going to get opportunity. This was a lost opportunity. There will be others. Trust me on this. It gets tight this time of year. We all know that. In this league, there isn't big difference between each team. There really isn't. It's closer than you think. So there will be more opportunities, but we just can't squander anymore. It's too late in the season for that. There's not enough games left at home. You got to put the work in. You got to get the job done. Tony, I know you're pretty angry about this one. Overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts is just like, yeah, we got a point, but that should have been an away game point. You know what I mean? It's tougher to win at home away than it is at home. Like, that's the whole thing. And it's like, yeah, shout out to everyone who showed up. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of tickets being sold, but like I also want to I gotta call out people when you gotta call out people. As much as we call out players, we gotta call out our supporters. The people who were selling the tickets were also the same people who are saying is in the boilas in those buenas and the malas. Sorry. If I butchered that right now, I'm just a little bit just taken away. It's just like, so you're gonna be in the good and the bad, but you're gonna sell your tickets. It's like, nah, like if you're gonna be unhappy, then tickets already paid for who has season tickets, so you're selling your tickets. It is what it is. But like I'll go back to like supporters that I know of, like Roma right now. They are they're upset with the firing of the coach because they hurt one of their own. And what's the rumor going around is they're gonna show up, but they're gonna stand outside of their supporter section and not be anyone into the supporter section for the first half and be quiet to show how displeased they are. They're gonna, but again, they're showing a support of what should happen, and they support them throughout the good and the bad because one of their own got fired. So why aren't we having this skill? Because and it's just like I don't want to hear, oh, this is LA. LA fans are this. No, if that's LA fans, then I'm sorry, you can go cross town down the way to Carson because that's how they act. This is not how we're supposed to act.
Yeah, fair weather stuff doesn't last. That's football. There will be seasons where we aren't as good as this, right? There will be seasons where you're going to be a 500 team. You're going to be that team looking on the bubble. You're going to throw a tantrum about it. You're going to go out there and support your team. It's pretty straight up, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man. It was pretty wild seeing the ticket market, and just the dump of tickets. What was wild is the rest of the stadium actually filled up, pretty well on the day for a game on FS1 in the middle of the week. It was the supporter section that probably had the most gaps. It just did. You could see it. Those who were doing it though, they were still making their noise, and I commend everyone that was able to do that because it was still loud. They're still doing the job. So good on you guys for that. That's for sure. On our end, for the players, though, I'll say this right now: the chemistry is lacking still. We've made one major change in the lineup, and it keeps starting. Right, we keep starting with that type of attack, and it's just not gelling. And you got to wonder at some point, maybe a different approach might be needed. Maybe to start the game off because it's looking like that's the issue right now. It's just not. It's not connecting. Bam, am I off on this? There's a disconnect, right?
Yeah, it feels like there is a disconnect. I don't know what it is. Whether there's not that synergy in the dressing room. There's not synergy out in the field. Don't know what it is, but something has to change. We're just not being able to read each other's minds and do those passes that we need when we need them, and that's the best way to say it. There's that synergy just lost.
Yeah, a lot of passes to the wrong shoulder, right? Guy runs out, pass goes in. It happened a lot in this game. And it's just like, what's going on here? It's just not right. Clunky in a way, you could say. So more's got to be done. We know this. That where form is not where it needs to be, and we have a cup final to play in a very, very short time. Dallas, yes, we got to do the job in Dallas, but you know what happens next. Got to find a way. Got to find a way. All right, I'm going to go to the comments right now because I see a bunch of lined up, and I know you guys got something to say. So I'm going to go there first. Okay, guys? And then we'll go to community in LAFC2 because there's good LAFC2 news. All right. So Danny on Hill says here, don't see. Yeah, we've been having technical difficulties. It's been a little bit strange tonight. A bit of a delay on our system. We don't know why, but we're alive. That's how it runs. Mendes says, what up, Heart of LAFC podcast, Black and Gold Comrades. We're here for you guys. You know how that goes. Like Mendes said, you got to have that momentum. That's for sure. Like the nutmeg. Exactly. Oh, yeah, and he's also said Duenas even took a hit on his head landing on the opposing player's leg. Like, for me this week, I wasn't in the North End, but I was at the game, hosting my school, actually, which was a lot of fun. So we got to see the first half and the work that Duenas was doing from that side. And dude, like, guy was everywhere. Really was. Bouanga putting in the work too. I mean, not as sharp as he usually is, but still grinding it. Hollingshead everywhere. We could see the guys putting the work in. Others stationary. A lot of ball watching. This is rough. Yep. Daniel Angel is giving up goals at the end of the half a pattern or just bad luck. It usually comes from counters that are getting us on plays where we go all in for a big play to end the half, and then we leave ourselves open. To me, it's a concentration issue. Ultimately, giving a goal that late should never happen. You kind of get to a certain time where you just have to lock things down, and we're not doing that, and it's costing us right now, big time. Oh, Daniel Angel says players were talking about fans deserve better after the Carson loss. Let's start with 3 points at home every time. Yeah, but the guy that said fans deserve better, was he in the lineup to kick things off? No. Maybe there's something to say for that. Right mindset needs to be out there. That's for sure. Mendo says month of Texan clubs matchups, we cannot defeat them. Tomorrow has to be different. It does, and FC Dallas and playing in their house hasn't always gone well for us, and we know that too. Ask Ilie, right? Not easy playing the Texas teams ever for us. We always have a weird history with them. Houston, right? It's a thing. Mendoza says, rightly said, Tony, it's difficult being an example as others can take an easy way and point fingers. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it's got to be. You got to lead by example like Tony does. He has the right to say it. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, and Marvin. Marvin says, based on what you guys have seen so far, do you think you can win the U.S. Open Cup? 100%. 100% we can. Is it going to be easy? No. But if you go out there playing it as a lineup that's, cycling the lineup, that's going to be your focus on that, right? Or playing the kids because it's only the Open Cup. Yeah, Kansas City will wreck you. That is for sure. You have to go out with your most, I won't say the best lineup, your most in form lineup. The guys that are putting in the work that got us there, that's who needs to be in the lineup. The guys that are saying the fans deserve better need to be in that lineup. If they are not, and you're rewarding guys that are just here because of a name and a big paycheck, we're going to end up in the same place we are. Pissed off, losing a final. You got to put the guys in with the passion, right? Go, Bam.
100%. Not only that, though, you got to look at it too is, again, just looking at SKC, who were playing in the final, right? They lose this weekend, they can't make playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So if put your head in SKC fan, would you go, okay, let's not make playoffs, but let's win the US Open Cup? What's more important to you?
That's what they've got. That's what they're holding on to, right?
Yep. So if they lose this weekend, I expect them to put out a weaker side this weekend against Minnesota and come full force in the Open Cup.
Their season's toast. If it ain't this week, it'll be next week. The numbers have fallen poorly for them. That rough starts do this. They're stuck. This is it. They have everything is going to go into that final. And Bam can tell you the veteran presence on that team, the grinders on that team, they're built for this. They're built. They could definitely beat us. We've got to come out with the right heads. Got to. Essential. Tony, you want to add in?
No, just saying what's up to Falcon. He just jumped into the
There we
chat.
go. Yep, Falcon jumped on as well. Put it up there. There's Falcon. What up, Falcon? Nice. But Marvin, you're on point in asking, like, can we win this? Yes, we can. But how are we going to approach it? That's going to be the story. And we'll preview it next week. That's for sure.
The main question, Marvin, is not can we win this? Should we win this? We should be winning it.
Yeah, this is the one we should have the most energy for. That's for sure. Got this far. Cannot lose another final, guys. No, they got to come out hard. But good call, Marvin, on that one. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump back into our other news. keep firing away with the comments. We'll put you guys back on in a little bit before we close things out later on tonight. Nice. All right. So moving on to the next. Let's go with some more happy stuff. Of course, that would be the LAFC 2 update. Araceli, of course. Yep, traveling here. That's what's going on. So she gave us some great updates, and we're going to share them with you. LAFC 2, of course, is playoff bound. That is the big news. Of course, they do play Real Monarchs on Monday, September 23rd at Titan Stadium. Ultimately, that's going to decide placement for the playoffs since we're now in the show. It's a little bit interesting with the playoff pictures we are chasing, right? North Texas, St. Louis, LAFC 2, and Tacoma. Cincinnati have also clinched as well. Of course, that's mostly Western teams. Cincinnati's the only Eastern team that's already in. LAFC currently sits in third with 45 points. St. Louis currently has 50. Okay. Decision day, of course, is October 6th. So it's coming down to it. We're still in the hunt for it, but we got to get some results. That's how it runs. Remember, it is to pick your opponent in this. How does that work? Basically, it allows more teams to qualify for playoffs. Both teams will be making selections. 8 teams qualify for the playoffs in each conference. Seeds 1 through 4 in each conference hosting and selecting their opponents in the first round. That's right. 1 through 4 get the selection. So it's a little wild on that front. You already know if you're that 4 seed, though, you probably end up knowing who you're going to get, right? I mean, that's kind of how it plays itself. Second round, the highest remaining seed in each conference will then select their opponent. So it just keeps happening, which is kind of fun. 15 total matches for the postseason. So yeah, that's what's going on. We're behind by 5 with a couple games to go. That's the reality of it. They got to win out to get that better seeding. We're in a good spot. We got to finish strong. That is for sure. So that's LAC2 update. We'll keep you guys posted, of course, in our next episode as we preview the U.S. Open Cup final and talk about how the boys did. So that is what's next. All right, Tony, I'm going to go to you, sir. What do you got for community news?
Community news, they are a couple watch parties that are happening. I know for most of them, it's going to be the big 3252 event that was offered. I believe you can still go if capacity up, but you just won't get some of the cool prizes that come with it. But it will, it's happening at, I believe 5:30. Let me go check my little thing on my phone. Sorry, there's a couple other things. Well, besides BAM coming to, the other big community news, BAM coming over, because I just saw that coming through. But I'll post the socials on it if you can go to that. And then, of course, next weekend, next Sunday, the big art show is finally happening. Come out from 5 to 9 at City of Boxing. It's going to be a fun night of just, hanging out with supporters, talking football, talking anything. And then, you might get some cool surprises because, players usually try to show up and, support this. Vic is really close with them. So we might get some surprises from certain players. Not saying we will. I'm just saying we might. That is the 27th on Sunday from 5 to 9 at City of Boxing.
There we go. And yeah, usually our Colombian contingent, I'll leave it with that, has been stellar in supporting us in these big events. So shout out to those guys. They've been consistent, that's for sure. Yeah, so definitely come out for it. Gonna be a lot of fun. Guarantee it. All right, Black and Gold Vinyl Club, man. I have not done my homework. I will fully admit that. Do you guys have any nominations for this week? Who's got one?
I got one. So obviously we all know the band Drowning Pool, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We all know Drowning Pool and their big hit Bodies. Let the bodies hit the floor. Now, there's a comedy cover of that song that I really, really love. It's called Numbers. He goes, I can only count to 4. It's by a band called Psycho Stick. So that's going to be mine for this year, for this week.
When Tony does this compilation album, that one's going to be fun to find. That's for sure. Nice. Tony, you got one, man, or you like me this week? I don't feel like singing after watching the last one. Except, of course.
I only feel like singing at the moment when I'm in the North End or at watch parties or doing stuff like that. So,
there it is. There it is. Get back to business, people. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. All right. What do we do next? Oh, yeah, that's right. We preview the next match. What else would we do, right? All right, let's get into it. FC Dallas. Talk about a team that's in the doldrums and trying to find themselves. That would be definitely FC Dallas. Their form has been just as bad as ours. Of course, they're winless in their last 3. Can't afford to be while they're way the heck down in the standings. I think they're fourth from last on the outside looking in, chasing Austin. They're 1 point back of Austin, both on the outside looking in, chasing Minnesota, who's got 39 points. Times are rough. Yes, that's what's going on in the world of FC Dallas. 9 wins, 13 losses, 7 ties. Yeah, but only a -2 goal differential, even though that record's a little bit rough. So guess what that means? Yeah, they could put the ball in the back of the net when they need to. That is something they can do. Defending, though, kind of not there. So what's happened to them in the last 3 games? Like I said, winless. They lost at home to Colorado, who, they're surging. They tied Vancouver on the road. Not too, bad there. And then they lost to RSL on the road, 3-2. So the goals did fall there. That's for sure. A couple of the games you'll see lately have been kind of leaking some stuff. That's for sure. Now, our side, we can't say much else, right? They've been bad for 3. We've been bad for 4. Form ain't good either way. Guess what? You got to do something. You're on the road. You got to make it happen. At this time, of course, we are in 3rd place with 49 points, chasing Salt Lake, who's got 50, and of course, the Galaxy at 55. Yes, we have games in hand on everybody, but they don't mean anything if you're not getting the job done when it counts. There is that. You can't guarantee those as wins the way we're playing. So this one's going to be a big one for us. Now, who stands out for FC Dallas? Well, Peter Musa, 26 games, 14 goals. Yeah, that's pretty darn consistent in terms of scoring. After that, of course, Jesus Ferreira, who's 17 games played, only 5 goals. What happened to that guy? And then we've got Paul Arriola, 4 goals on the year. Tafari, 3 goals. And then it kind of goes down the line pretty deep. They've got a lot of guys on 1. So assist-wise, of course, Leggett, 7 assists. Farrington, 7 assists. Arriola, again, showing up again, 5 assists in this case. Ferreira's out there too, 4 assists. His year's been a bit off, that's for sure. Now, what's happened to him recently? Like I said, they lost recently. The weirdest thing about these guys is their lineup. I'll say this right now. The only thing we know for certain is they're going to play with 3 center backs. How things happen in front of those 3 center backs has been different in the last 3 matches. Every time it's been different. They've approached each game differently. They're obviously tinkering at this point. I get it. You got to do things a little drastic. Bam, you're looking at the lineups. You're seeing it. A little strange, right? How much they've shuffled.
They do shuffle a lot. Like, the last time that they won was they had the 3-4-2-1 lineup. Then was it last week that they had the 3-4-3? As you said, we know we're 3 at the back, and then whatever's up front, we'll have to wait and see, because they like changing it up quite a lot.
Yeah. Now, the 3 center backs are kind of familiar to us, at least 2 of them. We have Farfan, we have Ibiaga. I know, right? We know those guys. Tafari would be the other one likely to be the center back. Goalkeeping situation. Pais would probably be their starter, but they've used Maurer as well. That's even shifted a bit. Outside backs, again, if they're playing the 3-4-2-1, which I kind of expect them to do at home against us, if they do that, last time they ran that lineup, it was Arriola, Leggett, Iramendi, Junqua, and then Ferreira and Sebeling, I think is the way he says his name, with Musa up top. That's what it looked like last time. Or the last time they did 3-4-2-1, the 3-4-3 on the other side. Again, shoveling lineups around. They had Show, Iramendi, Leggett, Junqua as your midfield. And then up top, it was Arriola, Ferreira, Musa. Could be that against us. And then before that, 3-5-1-1. Yeah, again, defending is the same. That case, I think, Let's see. Anybody different? Ruan came in, played outside in the 3-5-1-1. So can we predict their lineup? Can predict their back line. I can do that. That's the one thing consistent. Probably up top with Musa, if he's healthy, he's probably going to be on the field. Leggett will be on the field. Pereira will be on the field, right? Some of their big guys, but otherwise they're shuffling. They're trying to survive, right? And that's what you do when it's desperation time. Is you got to try to match your opponent as best you can and find a way. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Bam, would you even try to think and guess on this one? I think it's gonna be a hard one to guess.
It is. It's literally you might as well go. Here's your back line, flip a coin for keeper, and then go. Let's just see what comes out. There's no chance of predicting what they're going to do.
Yeah, and they don't mind trading goals. We've seen a lot of that. Some high scoring stuff. There was a 0-0, I know, but otherwise 3-2, kind of a common score with these guys. So yeah, expect a lot of opportunities for us, and they can break you. So it could be a show. We could get some fireworks, that's for sure. Is it going to be easy? No, we know that. They're playing for their lives here. It ain't looking so great. So expect a desperate team. Now, we all know the story is us. What in the hell are we going to do? And I'll say it just like that because, dude, what are we going to do? It hasn't worked the last 3 games. What are you going to do to make it work? How are you going to shuffle things up? Are we going to play 3-4-3? Are we going to go 4-3-3? That's the first question to ask. Tony, what do you think, man? Play it high with a 3-4-3 and go at these guys?
I think we should, honestly, because I don't want anyone to rest because we saw what happened last time we rested for a big final. I want them to go through the paces, and so we just use the lineup that we're probably. Let's use the lineup that we've been using this whole time and move forward because, like, I don't want any let's change the lineup right before our finals to throw everybody off, and then we threw ourselves off. So I think it just go high and push them.
Yeah, it's a hard ask though. I will say this. Knowing that you have a cup final only a few games, what are you gonna risk? This one's a tough one, that's for sure. 3-4-3. What do you think, Bam? 3-4-3, or we're gonna go back to 4-3-3 and play a little farther?
It's gonna be 4-3-3.
So if that's the case, who's your 2 center?
I want 3-4-3, but it's gonna be 3-4-3.
Or 4-3-3, right? 4-3-3.
Yep, 4-3-3. Yep.
Okay. All right. If you're going with 4-3-3, who are your 2 center backs?
Long and Chanel.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Tony, you're going to 3-4-3. Who's your 3 center backs?
Long, Chanel, and Segura.
Okay, Segura back out there in the mix. All
Mhm.
right. All right. So we know. Well, with a 3 in the midfield for Bam, who's your 3?
Tillman, Atuesta, Bogusz.
I like it. That makes some sense. Bogusz, in this last game, he did shift back low again, right? We did see that happen, and it looked fine. Right?
You know why Bogusz is in the middle.
You got to rest people, too.
No.
All right, go for it.
Vela starting.
Ooh, he's getting bold. Bold with this one. A Vela start. Okay, then who's next to Vela? Tony's
Drew
dying on there right now.
Belonga.
So Vela back at right wing.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Like the olden days. He looks skinny, so maybe he's back into it. Tony's dying because he's thinking it ain't happening. So I go back to you, Tony. Since he gave you the front line and he gave you all his, who do you got out there? Who's your midfield? Who are your forwards?
Ilya, Atuesta, and then of course you have outside, of course, Hollingshead and Palencia.
Okay.
Up front, I still go with Oliveira, Bogusz. I want Kai, but at this moment in time, it's going to be Giroud. I don't start Vela because then we do the same thing we do with Giroud, where he's not into the system, he's not playing the system, and we throw ourselves off, and then we just shoot ourselves in the foot. And I will throw a chair into the TV.
Tony,
Get ready to throw things.
I want your starting lineup. That's what I want. But this is what I see is going to happen. I don't want this lineup.
I don't see.
I don't want Vela starting. I don't but I can see that is what's going to happen.
I don't think he debuts until he's at home for the cameras. Yeah, no. What I do see happening in this game is going to probably make everybody mad is a totally shuffled lineup. They're going to rest key players to play in the final. That's what's going to happen. I expect that to happen. You're going to see a weird lineup with young kids. Have at it, boys, and shuffle out. Campos will be there. Hollingshead probably won't be. I think that's what's going to happen. Palencia, I'd say the 4-3-3 would make more sense in this game. Even the Chanot Long situation, if any of them has any type of knock, there is no way they're going on the field. I would say it would probably be more of a Long Segura situation in this game. I know. Not my favorite lineups, but this is what I think is going to happen. And then your midfield, I would be shocked if it's Ilya in the lineup. You might see Tillman. I would kind of he needs to play a little bit at least. Don't be surprised if it's Duenas again and another kid.
Would you put in O'Brien? He's back. He can be
Yeah,
selected.
I would use him 100%. Don't be shocked if it's Tillman, O'Brien, and Duenas. I'm not saying it's the strongest line. I'm thinking pragmatic. There's other battles, right? You want a cup next week. They're going to shuffle for that. Up top, if Bouanga starts, cool. If he doesn't, I think he does, and then he comes out early. But other than that, probably Martinez will show up, and maybe Giroud because he needs to figure things out. And they'll bubble wrap other players. It could be kids up front, all kids. But I just have a funny feeling it's going to be one of these odd lineups to keep everybody healthy for the big game next week. As much as it drives people crazy because we need the points, What do we want more? 3 points this Saturday or lift the cup on Wednesday? Pragmatic. You go for the bigger prize. And if that costs us first place, I'll throw it to you, Tony. What's more important to you, finishing as the top seed or winning the Open Cup?
Well, priority is Open Cup, but it's like I don't like history with us of resting players before a big cup game does not go well.
But we do it every time.
Yeah, and look what happens. We lose on the biggest stage at the moment, so I think I say we just go out there with our full force with limited minutes and then, make the changes that we need to the people who can go out there and stuff like that. I understand it's like, well, we can't play scared, and that's the problem is we play scared. We've been playing scared for the last 4 games. It's not gotten us anywhere.
Well, I mean, we've started a certain player all 4 games and he hasn't meshed. Let's be real. So then we get 45 minutes of our actual football showing up in the second half, or maybe 30 or 20 minutes of our actual football and what we normally approach the game with a different guy out there. Not saying said player is bad, just saying that they're not meshing chemistry, right? So what do they do this week? Well, I mean, you could just keep running him out there so he gets used to things, but yeah, I see an odd secondary type of lineup. Shorten minutes for everybody. If you can shorten the minutes, don't risk anybody. If they're over 30, good luck. They might not play. And then you get through the game. I know it will drive everyone nuts. We always want to compete for everything, but I have a thought. It's going to be pragmatic. I get it. I do. Do I like it? No. But it's the way we roll, man. Like it's how we've always done it. I see a couple comments out there. Let's see where the guys are at on this stuff. All right. Q Cardi says, "What's up, guys? Just tuning in. Y'all think we prioritize the clinch and high seed or heavy rotations thinking of the final?" Those two are thinking clinch it. I'm thinking heavy. Just because, right? Past experiences with this side. Unless they're on the yellow card, of course, we're going to play them if they're at risk of not playing the next game. I don't know. It's a thing. Soccer says Di Martinez needs to play. Kid is too good to stay on the bench. He needs to sub on before the 80th minute. Players need minutes 15 to make an impact. I say start the kid. Let him work into this thing. They're playing a 3-man back. They're going to go high on us probably. I mean, how would you feel if he's going after Ibiaga and Farfan all game? I'd like my odds. I would.
Especially
Get him
against
out there, man.
Farfan.
Yeah.
He
Right?
could easily burn and turn Farfan. Ibiaga would be burnt once, and then he would step up with that hard tackle.
Yeah.
But
what he
Farfan
does.
would get turned and burned all the time.
Yeah. I think that you're going to see some more kids that we don't expect. I think O'Brien will get in the lineup, though. I do. Because, again, he's been sitting too long. But others, yeah, definitely. Soccer USA says, at this point, Segura is an outside defender or defensive bid. No more experimenting at central defense. Just not the same player. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Don't be shocked. Soccer USA also says lifting 2 cups most important. I mean, that at the end of the day, that's the story, right? All I know is I just hope and pray we end up with more points than Columbus. So somehow if we all meet again, we know where it's coming. That's my head right now. That's the only team that scares me in the playoffs. We'll get it together, I think, but that's the one. Talking say Palencia is a lock starter at this point. Needs to play rest of season. Well, he wasn't a lock against Carson, and that cost us, right? I'm with you. I don't think there's any other option at right back that works. Hollingshead does the job, but then what do you do on the left, right? Campos. Maybe that's what he does. He plays, splits the minutes with Palencia and Hollingshead to keep them fresh for the final. I could see that happening where they both play right back on the day. And then Campos gets the run out. He needs it too. So don't be surprised there. But I'm with you, dude. Palencia is essential for us. The big games, he'll be there. We know that. That's for sure. Should be. I'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Good comments. Well done, all of you. Any other thoughts from you, Tony, regarding this match this weekend? What do you want to see? How are you feeling?
I just want passion. That's all I want. Like, that's all I want from the boys is passion. Passion from us, passion from everything. It's just like, we say it all the time. It's like, there's a thing with passion. It's like, yeah, passion over profit. Profit is nice when we sell players and like, get the money and the players that we need, cool new jerseys, everything around the stadium. But if there's no passion, it's not, and it's an empty wasteland there. You know what I mean? It's so gentrified, I guess.
It's not my money. I'm just spending it. I don't give a rat's, man, about what the club makes, how much they make. You got the money to back it. You're a $1 billion club, as they like to say all the time, right? Wealthy is okay. Then you tell me you're cash poor. Okay. Don't care. Win the games. I don't pay to hear about financial statements. I pay to watch football. Watch my team win. That's why we're all in this. We're here for the football. Profit, let other people worry about that. Guys getting a paycheck. Ain't my deal. I'm spending my paycheck on this thing, so I expect the best for my crew. I go to you, Bam. Thoughts?
For those that are traveling, show the passion that we expect the players on the field. That's all we can do as fans, especially those of us that go into active areas and all that. Even if you're not in the active areas, sitting around the stadium, just for the rest of the season, show passion. That passion that we'll show is what we demand of the players. How can we demand players show passion if we don't show passion as well? So just show passion in this game, plain and simple.
Follow Kamara's lead, right? The way he approaches the games. There's a reason why he's a second all-time leading scorer, because every game matters to him. He is the example. I don't think there's any other way to look at it. Follow his lead on these things. It's why he is who he is and where he is. It's his approach to the game that the rest of the team needs to adopt. It will get us where we need to go. That's for sure. All right. Let's get to our final thoughts on this thing. That's right. We've run this bad boy out. We're ready for the weekend just like you to watch what we're going to do next. And, of course, prepare for next week as we got a cup final. That's what we're in it for, right? Let's get these big wins. So, final thoughts. Tony, I'll let you start, man. You're sitting there ready to go.
Final thoughts is, let's go out there for those who are traveling. Like Bam said, just show, 90 minutes plus, show it out there, and, come back home with like points, but points in the right way, not a disappointing way. That's what I want coming back for this. And then you refocus, use that momentum, the great momentum to go into the US Cup final and see where we can go from there.
There it is. Build some momentum, carry it into it. Good stuff, Tony. Bam.
Final thoughts for me, again, show the passion, all that kind of stuff. And again, as I always say every episode, and we'll say for every episode, mental health matters. It's okay to not be okay. Conversations can save a life. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, reach out to people that you haven't spoken to in a long time. Just because you might have feeling in the past doesn't mean that they're too scared to reach out to you. Reach out to them. You may be able to get old friends back. You may be able to save someone from doing the unthinkable. Just mental health, that's the main thing.
Well said. Again, look out for your fellow supporter. Look out for your friends. Look out for your family. Be a positive contributor in this world, right? Those mittens staying golden, looking out for each other. On my end, I will say this. Thank you to all the supporters who keep traveling for this team. Highs and lows. Keep doing it. We are the best in the league when it comes to that. You guys show it every week. Trust me, everyone is amazed by what you all do. I hear it from everywhere. New faces going to that stadium, and they're in awe of you guys. Keep it up. Don't let up. Don't rest on it either. You push. You got to push. For the rest of us, keep the momentum up. If you're out here locally, go to the watch parties. It's good. You'll be among friends, that's for sure. So go have fun with it. I know there's some big events this weekend, so have fun with it, guys. No matter what the score is, still make your noise. Be there with your buddies. Have a good time as best you can. I'll be here next week to preview a cup final, and I can't wait to do that because that's going to be a lot of fun to do. For Bam, for Tony, again, thank you guys for the late nights. You guys are rocking it, as always. Thank you to Araceli, who comes in the middle of the night, still sets up her notes even when she's traveling out to here. We're going to see her here next week. Photo op, right? Still putting in the work. As busy as she is, she still puts in the time for us, and we're beyond thankful for everything that she does. And for you guys who always comment every week, thank you. I know technically it's been looking really rough with our pod the last 2 weeks with technical issues. We're just going to run through it and make it happen. You know how we are. We don't get too hung up on that, but we'll still be here to produce and make it happen for you. On that note, the final word. Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.